Welcome back YouTube, Harry here, known as Trade Sharp, and welcome to the third part of my beginners trading series where I teach you how to trade in 2022, or not how to trade, but the right steps to start trading as a beginner, right? So as always, be sure to be subscribed and like this video to get my next parts, because this is a video series. Make sure to watch the first one to explain what I aim to help you in this video series, and down below are some free groups that you can join to ask questions, because we do reply. So leave any comments, it always supports, and a like and subscribe is always appreciated from my side. But in this video, the last video, we talked about what are candles, right, and what do they represent, and what are the time frames related to these candles. But in this video, we're going to talk about market structure. So this is something and a very common thing that you need to understand, and trading is based a lot on market structure. You might think that this is a beginner concept, but as an advanced trader, people even use it. No matter what stage you are in your trading, market structure will always be used, and reading candles will always be used, right? So these are essential skills, and without these, you can never ever progress in trading. So when it comes to market structure, what we need to understand is what we're trying to define is the trend. So markets move in three different ways, right? So I'm going to scroll up here and show you how markets move. The first way markets move is if I get this drawing tool like this here, and I show you the first way markets move is they move in an uptrend here, right? So we have an uptrend which will look something like this. Alternatively, we have a downtrend, and then we have something called consolidation. So these are your three. So this is number one, this is number two, and this is number three, right? So this is the three ways that the markets move, right? You will never ever see a market move straight up or straight down. That will never happen. I mean, you will get it in a few candles, but you will never see it as a whole just move straight up or straight down, because that's not how it works. What you'll see is you'll see markets make structure, right? They move like a staircase. And in an uptrend, what we have is we have a high and a low, and then we have a higher high, which means that the high is higher than the last one, and we have a higher low, and this forms an uptrend, right? So we have higher lows, so HL, higher lows, right? HL, because this low is higher than the last one, and we have higher highs, right? Because see, HH, so this high is higher than the last one, and this is making what you can see an uptrend, because price is continuing up. Now if that gets broken, you can see this area. If that low gets broken, guess what we start forming? It just becomes the opposite, right? We get lower highs because this high is lower than the last one, lower high here, right? So now you can define a downtrend, and we have lower lows because this low right here is lower than the last one. And the last market formation we have is called consolidation, where the market is basically just going sideways here. And this we can see there's no higher highs, there's no higher lows, market is just sideways. Might look like that, might dip down, but you can see there is no clear trend, and this we can call consolidation. So with that being said, take note of this, write this down, understand what I said, and if it's not clear, rewind. But what we're going to do is look in the charts for you here, and I'm going to show you how to define the trend here, and we will see this clearly, right? So obviously here what we can see is that if we come right here, and we're going to focus on this segment of the market here. So let me draw a box, and I want you guys to focus on this segment of the market, right? I want to tell me, what can you guys see in this segment of the market? Are we in an going up or are we going down? Well, to me, and it's pretty clear that we are going in a downtrend. But focusing on what we learned above, what can you notice here? Well, I can notice we have here a high, we have a low, we have a lower high, and we have a lower low. Don't worry about this, because this is mid consolidation within the macro trend, right? So here's a lower high, and then there's another lower low. But then what about this? Well, this is another lower high, this is another lower low. Well, what about this stage here? Well, this is very interesting here, because this is where we actually start to form a consolidation. So this was a clear downtrend, your lower highs and lower lows, and now here's your example of consolidation, right? So if I draw a box around here, you can see that there's no higher highs, no lower lows. We are simply consolidating within a range, right? But now you're going to ask me, how do we know if we're in an uptrend, right? So let's see an example of an uptrend, and let's go find one. So recently we have been in a nice uptrend here. So let's see on the lower time frames, like a 1 hour, and you can start to see this form. Well, check this out. If we look here, what are you guys seeing now? Well, we see a low, a high, a higher low, a high, a higher low, higher high, higher low. That is your uptrend, right? That is what we're basically doing, is what I showed you, right? See, it comes up, there's your stair, one more, there's your staircase, and there's your continuation. And this is how you're going to define a trend within the market, right? And this is what basic market structure is. You don't need to make things overcomplicated. I know this seems like a lot, but that is how you're going to find if the market is going up or the market is going down. Now, to wrap this whole video up, the last thing you're going to look at here is you're going to look at, okay, how do you know when structure is going to change, right? So I'm going to draw you two examples of where structure changes. All right, so we can see here, and then if we're going down, so what we can see here is, here's your uptrend here, and then oops, right here when we came below this area here, our structure is changing, because now we can see we transition to the downtrend. And you can see this point here, as soon as we're not putting in higher lows, we went to a downtrend. Similar on the downtrend here, when we stop putting in lower highs, right, and we break that lower high in this point here, now we're transitioning to an uptrend. But you need to make sure that the candles close. Closures mean, remember when in the last video we looked at time frames, and that means that in this time frame the candle closed above the last high, like so, closing here. Alright guys, so in the next video we're going to talk about a simple strategy, and I'm also going to include trading sessions, because it's very important to know about your sessions. So be sure to be subscribed and like this video, and then in the next video we're going to cover that. The video after that we'll talk about brokers and actually trading, and then the last video to wrap everything up will be how to progress. So with that being said, take care, trade sharp, and until next time, peace.